本节目由中华民国画廊协会企划制作。
大家好，欢迎来到 Art Taipei Live Talk。今天的主持人比较不一样，我是 Viola， 中华民国画廊协会的艺术总监。大家好，今天我们的来宾非常的特别。那因为 Art Taipei 现在也进入到了一个非常忙碌的筹办期间，所以我们今年呢，我们的评审团也非常的阵容坚强。我们在台北这边有进行了一个会议，那我们也邀请到我们非常重要的几位评审团也一起来帮我们分享一下。那我们今天有来到了是两位我们的重要的国际评审，一位是新加坡的画廊 Richard Koh 的 Richard Koh。Please say hi, Richard.
Hello, everyone.
另外一位我们是邀请到印尼的藏家，叫做 Natasha Sidharta， 她本身也是在亚洲跟东南亚艺术非常努力推动，有基金会，然后也跟很多各地的机构美术馆来推动我们亚洲的艺术家。Please say hi, Natasha.
Hello, everybody. Natasha here.
Okay, I will switch to English now. So I was saying, we went through a very intense conversation for preparing for Art Taipei 2026. This year, we have a very good roster for the fair, and we have very turnout for international galleries. This year, we have around I cannot say the numbers. Historical high turnout for the international gallery to apply for Art Taipei. First of all, we just finished the meeting, so maybe you can share a little bit about, what you see, what we can expect for Art Taipei this year.
This is my third time participating as a selection committee for Art Taipei. So it's been really an honor for me to witness the progress that Art Taipei has done throughout these 3 years I'm involved. And this year, of course, every year there's something additional or new to Art Taipei, which makes it more vibrant. And this year, we are involved in selecting the public art installation that is called 80 Art Space projects. And then the proposal that the galleries have been submitting has been really, really amazing, and I'm really impressed. And we have concluded our voting in choosing the installations. So I'm looking forward to the installations, and I think you should too.
Oh, you hear it first. And Richard, you have participated in Art Taipei a few years ago. Now returning back, and what do you expect and what did you see?
We took part in Art Taipei a few times, I think quite a number of years ago. And we decided to come back this year and try and develop something in Taiwan. We have some Taiwanese clients, and they have been very supportive. And being in the selection committee for the first time, I must say everything is done in a super professional way. Quite impressive, because I've been on the selection committee of other fairs, and it's all done above board and very, very professional. So I'm quite impressed.
Thank you so much. Without spoil alert, thank you guys for participating in the selection process. Now we have you here. It's a very rare chance we get a first-hand experience into what is happening in the Asian market and Asia art world. After pandemic, in the few episodes before, we had invited many speakers also speak about different part of market. This year, I can share a little Art Taipei. Last year, we have the Collector Circle, the TCC initiative where we collaborate with Jakarta and with Seoul Kiev to do a program exchange in terms of bringing our regional collectors to each other's fair to kind of broaden their horizon to see a different perspective. And also we are seeing many collaborations between fairs and fairs. Say, Korean fairs collaborating with Jakarta, with Tokyo. A lot of conversation is happening. So today, let's talk about what is, first question would be, what is the first impression you have in the past few years, what is happening in the South Asian art world or Asian art world?
that's really general. I don't know how to start, but like, of course, like this past maybe 3 to 5 years, Asia has been the focus of attention for the global art scene. Of course, like when it happens in the art, it goes adjacent or hand in hand with direction and economic condition, and it is about Asia. So, of course, aside from the conditional, Asia is really rich in cultural and tradition and historical. So when Western supposedly look like they have already done every single thing that they could do or they could cover, like they don't have anything else they could cover, of course they look to Asia. Asia has so much potential, and we have just so much that is not yet discovered. So it makes sense that now we are the focal of the attention. So it's been exciting because like you don't need to be anywhere else but Asia, because like the global art scene has all their eyes on Asia. So we just need to be in Asia because they come here and they want to know what it is about Asia that is Asia.
Thank you, Natasha.
What was the question again?
So this question is meant to give us like a very general view of what is the feeling like dealing with Asian in the past, I would say 3 to 5 years. What's changed?
Yeah, I think in the last 2 or 3 years, I wouldn't say ecosystem, but the Asian art scene has come to a point where all the stakeholders realizing that they have to or they want to collaborate, and we have more and more conversations cross-country, cross-jurisdiction demographics on the possibilities of collaboration. So like you've mentioned, collectors from Jakarta, Kiev, they're all coming, moving. There's this work together kind of thing, which is very interesting because we never saw this in the 2000s. It's only in the last 2-3 years. And I think in general, the fellow Asian collectors are also curious because for a long time, we've been, most people have been, the idea of art is from the West. But I think now with what's happening around the world, most people are now looking inwards. Hence, you have a very strong local domestic fair like Art Jakarta, Art Manila, and Art Taipei is, back in full force. You have Kiev, which is where everybody wants to go now. So I think it's interesting, and even China itself, the local fairs are becoming very strong domestically. So yeah, I think it's time that the visual language is coming from this part of the world and not from a different perspective.
It's all very positive, like from all the conversation we have with different countries. And I know, like Natasha, you are such a big advocate for Southeast Asian or like Asian artists. I know you're working with many museums like Mori Art Museum or some institution, maybe not just in Asia, but like Europe. I wanted to also ask, like, in the process of like promoting curators and artists to this institution, what do you see is changing? Like, are they more accepting of the different narrative, or what like artists is doing? Are they more aware of the need to put themselves in the global conversation? Something like that. Can you share a little bit?
Yeah, if you talk about the institutional perspective, of course, like there are institutions who are mainly interested in regional, like for example Southeast Asia, but a lot of institutions are not mainly choosing artists because where they come from, but because the practice of the artist alone. So at the same time, the practice of the artists also already talking so much about where they come from and the issues that they want to share. So at this moment, I think there are a lot of interest in surfacing the issues of the diasporic conversational. So it means like this migration, for example, and then this like mixture of cultures. where they actually sees their own country as a third party, so they are more objective, for example. So like there's less issues of nationalities, for example, which you could associate with being so conservative. So like there's this new definition of what global is actually. So this kind of conversational that makes it interesting for institution, for example, somewhere in Europe or in America, to get all the Southeast Asian or Asian artists to involve in their dialogue.
So that is something that you see happening more often in the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very interesting. I think it's very important the institution and market need to go hand in hand together. And then, Richard, I understand you are going through a very special project this year to start a new fair, but alternative format.
I would call it a fair. It's a platform. Yeah. It's a tiny platform. Because there is a small gap in Asia, in Southeast Asia especially, where the very young artists or, artists who haven't really break out, that nobody's looking at, and they can be good, they could be someone with great potential. So we are starting a little small Southeast Asian platform in Kuala Lumpur. And we're giving these young artists, they all have to be born after 1990. But it's also a CSR project because we also want to start when the artists at the beginning of their career to understand that it's not just about their career. As an artist, you must also learn how to give it back, to give back to society. And so it's a CSR project, very tiny, very small, but we'll see what happens and where it goes.
Yeah, because Richard, you have a gallery both in Singapore and Kuala Lumpur. So what a collaboration you have for having both? Do you think it's very connected or it's like a very different market for you?
It's a very different market. In each location, we focus on the young artists of that locality. So like in Singapore, we give a lot of focus to local Singapore artists, young. Same with Bangkok. And same with Kuala Lumpur. There are times where we overlap, but in general, it is a very young artist platform.
Amazing. Yeah, young artists, young collectors. I think now the conversation is talking about this generational shift, which I think in the beginning of this year when we went to RSG, we talked to other associations from Korea, from Singapore, and we all talk about this is what galleries are facing. And then, the strategy are very different in terms of gallery choosing our artists or art fairs, the programming of the fair. So yeah, with that, because Natasha, I know you are also with many collectors groups. Like Art Jakarta, I know they have this young patron group. And also you're leading the Southeast Asia patron group in Moriarty Museum. So I think you're a collector in between of this generation. What do you see and what do you think we call it a young generation? what are they thinking? What is this crowd? Who are they?
There are different types of collectors. For example, the Art Jakarta ones are just really casual and we're having fun and we're hyping the platform and we support each other. Mainly we support the platform, of course. We invite people and then make sure we are part of the ecosystem that wants to make the fair successful.
Like an ambassador of the fair.
Yeah, you can say ambassador, but it's not officially with that title. But the idea that we share is actually the very same idea of understanding that if the fair is successful, then everybody will benefit from it because we are one ecosystem. So with this foundation in mind for the collectors group involved, it's actually, I believe that it's adding to the success story of the fair alone. It's different with the social Southeast Asia collector circle under Moriarty Museum because the collectors involved are mainly collectors who are in each of their respective country, are active in pushing the art scene forward, not only investing but contributing to the community. So they are really active individuals and very respected in each of their own community. And the circle is actually active in doing research with the Mori Art Museum curators, with the Mori Art Museum directors, doing research, taking turn every single country in the region for acquisition purposes and project purposes. So it's quite different. One is serious, one is having fun. But anyway, it's the main purpose. Maybe it adds to the same direction, which is to make everything going on smoothly and everything have a mutual understanding of the definition of contributing.
But I have to say, I think everyone who went to Jakarta very impressed by the collectors spectrum there. I remember last year we went there during our Jakarta. We went to see 3 or 4 collectors open collections. And what we're impressed is like half of their collection are very South Asian focused, even Indonesian like artist focused, and that including like emergent artists and also artists that is already established, say they are showing Venice Biennale in the institution. And then maybe like less than half of it also contain like Western or like more international artists. So it's very diverse.
But I also think I'm going to ask Natasha a question. Yes. Because I'm not in any art group, collector group, right? So in the last few years, there have been quite a few collectors group in Southeast Asia. You know, whether it's Indonesia, Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand, you know, and they're all affiliated with maybe a fair or a specific group of collectors. Now, I have this question as a gallerist. Isn't there a lot of conflict of interest for the art ecosystem when you have groups like this who are championing certain artists and not a broader sense? I think there's with most collectors, right? They have their favorite artists or whatever. So when you're in the group, you know, you always hear the same few names from each group. So you have that everywhere in collectors group. So when the collectors group is very active and very loud in every sense, isn't that a major issue for the other 90% of the artists that is trying to make a name or to get collectors?
It's quite different because like our collectors group is not a group. It's so Art Jakarta chose patrons, young collectors, to actually the sole function of the group is actually to support Art Jakarta, of course, as I mentioned. Each has their own taste of collecting, and then there's no like insisting one another.
Yeah. I think there's no bias in that sense. But
I understand what you're talking about.
But when the whole group in general, it's not just Indonesia, but I think in general in any group, of course they have no agenda, but I mean no specific thing. But it's always the case of you will hear, oh, you know, this artist, that artist. So,
I understand.
Right? Yeah. So what happens to the rest?
Look, so for example, maybe I won't give example of Art Jakarta because it's
totally
totally different form. So when I started collecting, for example, I also, maybe it feels nice to actually belong, you starting with the group and then like go on a trip together and then talk about art together, and then it's so active. Even we invite artists to present their practice in front of us in a cafe or so. In the beginning, also, of course, like, because we're in a group, it's so natural that, like, one person would say something about this artist and then another person, oh, I want to also. I think I like it also. So it becomes like one group has the same artist works of, like, they share the same artist, for example. But as I grow, as I evolve as an artist, as a patron, so many other things, I develop my own taste. I develop my own likings. And then I have the independency because of my experience and what I have been seeing and who I've been visiting, because I've been to a lot of studio artist visits, for example. So I developed my own taste. So I grew up from that group bias or whatever direction. But I think it's a natural, organic way in how you start collecting. Because I believe, imagine if you start collecting, like you don't have the confidence. If you're in a group, you are more aware, or you have like implanted this confidence with friends, So like, I think it's just natural. It's just like, where are you going? It's exactly like the traits of being human. Like you develop something and then you grow out of something.
The
right?
beginning phase. You still need to have that sense of belonging.
I think it's normal.
And I think it always affiliate with the fair because, fair also is a platform. What we do also during the fair is to create this experience. So we organize, because without the fair, you need to find a designated agency to kind of organize the trips. Everything. So I think that's why with fairs, that is what we do naturally. Like for Taipei, we also have Taipei Art Week. That is for us an extended VIP program to showcase what you can see, what you can do in terms of artist studio visit or, gallery institution to do. Yeah.
Well, only if, the members are confident enough to develop their own taste, right? Because quite a fair bit of them, just follow and continue. And, I don't know, having been in this business for 30 years, I've seen it happening all the time. And even today, you have the same thing happening. There's always the odd ones, who move away and develop their own taste. And
that's also their own decision.
Yes,
if they want to follow forever one person,
that's,
they're welcome to do it.
That is why, I, having seen so many private collections, is sometimes I don't know who's the collector, because they all have the same works.
That's really sad.
Right? And it's very common across Southeast Asia, but hopefully that can change.
But I do agree, Natasha, for having so many new collectors coming into the market. You do need to start somewhere.
I think they need to start on the right footing. Otherwise, they will go into this circle of, hype or peer pressure, or what is trending, and they don't develop their eye. Because, when you walk into a show, even a general gallery show, if you keep hearing about this artist from all your peers and all your collector group, so even before you walk into the show, you already have this perception that, this artist must be good because everyone is talking about it, right? So you walk in and then you have this thing, it's good, even without looking at it properly, because everyone is talking about it. Everyone is buying it.
But that's how the blue chip artists actually been shaped.
Because it's a market, right? It's a market.
That's how a blue chip, like there are a lot of behind the scenes invested in one blue chip artist. So like it's all very normal. It's in the system. I don't know how to make it fair because the system allows it to.
I don't think you can make it fair, but now that we are going through such a shift, right, in terms of the collectors, in terms of the visual language, in terms of the demographics, I mean, we can't change, whatever that's happened or happening, right? But what can we do to restart so that people actually look at the art and not at the tag? Right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that's important. And the young generation, everyone is talking about the young generation. It's so interesting because, they are a totally different breed. They come from the sneaker, the t-shirt and the toys, and now they are looking at art. But they are not collecting per se as in the previous 2-3 generations, because there is to put it not in a so good way, they don't have the connoisseurship of the older collectors.
They don't have that obsession.
Yes, and the passion, that crazy passion that the older generation had.
You like the artist, you collect the whole exhibition.
Oh, well, you don't, as a galleries, you don't sell the whole exhibition to one person. So, but
in the old days, there's some stories.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for the, I would say, almost heated conversation. So I think because today the content is so long, we need to cut into second part. 这边真的很感谢两位来宾给我们这么多他们的经验谈，我想大家一定还听得不够过瘾吧？那我们决定第2集继续再来讨论。谢谢各位。